Alright guys, this is a video I've been wanting to make for a long time, telling the story of this big public land buck that I killed back in 2021. I don't have any footage of the hunt, any footage of the shot, so if you're looking for that, just going to go ahead and tell you right now, this is just me with the mount telling the story of this hunt. So back in 2021, me and my brothers, some buddies, set out to do our first public land hunting, inspired by THP and a lot of guys like that. We wanted to give it a try. We grew up hunting West and South Texas deer leases, but we wanted to try public land, so we went out in the summer, found a piece of public a couple hours away from where we live here in DFW, actually in Oklahoma, and we scouted, we set cameras, we were really excited about it all year. There was a good group of us that went up there that first year, actually just the three of us. We've since added quite a few people. But anyway, I was able to harvest this mature buck at the end of November. We hunted really hard that first year. A huge piece of public, over 10,000 acres, and you kind of got lost in like, where do you go? How do you scout it? How do you tackle a piece of property that big? So, we just did our best, and I ended up finding a spot that I really liked that just looked really bucky to me, and it was thick. It was really briery. It was kind of down in the bottom, what seemed like it might have been kind of like a funnel through a little creek bed there. So I hunted that spot a lot, and during the early November, I actually had quite a few bucks run through there. So I felt really confident about it, and I was saddle hunting for the first time. So, getting used to the saddle, getting used to trying to take shots out of the saddle, stuff like that. But anyway, I had several bucks in that area that I knew were good bucks in that area, so I kept hunting it. And towards the end of November, I went up there on an afternoon one day by myself, drove out there. The spot was like, from where I originally found the access, like, between 1 to 2 miles back. So I'd go back there, climb my saddle, set it up, and I wanted to go ahead and get a full day sit on this particular day. So I got in there at like 1 o'clock, had some snacks, some water, and you know how you get sitting there for hours and hours, you don't know if it's gonna happen, you're not really paying attention. And I actually had a plane, like a little prop plane, fly over really low, like lower than you usually see those kind of planes flying around. And it was loud, like droning over as it flew by. And it scared this buck up out of his bed, which this buck was actually about 75 yards away in his bed. And I heard him, before I saw him, I heard him start grunting, like angry grunting, like he didn't like that plane came in and disturbed him. So he's grunting and he's making a big stink. And I knew there was a big buck in the area. I could tell it was a buck and not a pig or something. And I finally see him stand up, and he starts going down this trail that I'd actually had another buck in a previous hunt go down the same trail, and I wasn't able to get a good shot off on him because I didn't know how far that was. You get in your saddle, you get in the tree, you start ranging everything around, trying to figure out where are my shots, how far are they. And because that other buck had come down the exact same game trail, I knew exactly how far this particular spot was that I wanted to stop this buck. So he gets up out of his bed, he's angry, he's grunting, and he starts working his way down that trail. And I was trying to get situated through my saddle, which thank God I was hunting out of a saddle, because I would have never been able to make this shot out of a hang-on. And I was able to turn and get situated where I could draw and shoot from an off-balance position, kind of like, I don't know, hard to describe, but a very funky shot. But I was able to get in a position where I felt good about the shot. Actually pulled the shot off on this buck at 45 yards, because I stopped him exactly where I knew that range was 45 yards. And man, I was just shooting an old bow that I've had for years, a pretty lightweight arrow. And, a lot of people might think that that's kind of a long poke at a whitetail with a bow, and it definitely is. But, we had been practicing at that range. I'd been practicing out of the trees at that range. I was confident in my setup. I was confident in the speeds that I had at that range. I made the shot at 45 yards. I hit him a little high. I hit him like kind of in this area. And I heard it pop when I hit the chest cavity, and I had a feeling I made a good shot on him. But I wasn't sure. And then I heard him crash. I was almost certain I heard him crash, but you're kind of panicking after you make a shot at a big buck like that, and you don't exactly know where it hit or what happened if you don't have somebody with you. So I gave him some time, and then I started looking for blood, found a really good blood trail. I was shooting Swacker 2¼ inch cut diameter that year. So I hit him right here with a 2¼ inch cut and just barely got the top of both lungs with a nice wide cut. And he was down in seconds, maybe like 75 yards from where the point of impact was. I was by myself, called my brother, called my girlfriend at the time, who's now my wife, filming the video for me, called all my buddies, and loaded him up on my back and carried him out to the truck. And then my brother came up and helped me get him cleaned up and get him back to the house. But it was my first ever buck to get mounted. Definitely the most mature buck that I've killed. I think he was definitely an old, mature buck. Cool fact about this guy is one of my other friends that hunted the same piece of public I met that year had this guy on camera like 6 miles from where I killed him at. And this was around rut, post-rut time, so like when they're traveling a whole lot. And he had a close encounter with him with a traditional bow where he actually tried to make a shot on him. The guy ended up getting away from him, which I was thankful for because I was able to harvest him. But yeah, like that's just a really long range. I thought that was cool to know that he had traveled that far in a short amount of time. It was actually like a week and a half, 2 weeks from that encounter to whenever I killed this guy. But man, definitely the biggest bodied deer I've ever killed, the most mature. I'll bring you guys in for a little close-up view of some of the stuff that I think some really cool character about this guy. All kinds of little stickers and stuff like this, just gnarled up. I sent him to my buddy, he called him Gnarls Barkley. He's got little matching kind of sticker deals right there on both sides, which are kind of cool. Definitely got some of these things going on over here. A lot of character, definitely mature buck. Actually, another hunter that I ran into had camera photos of this guy from the previous year. He did break off his 3 right here. That kind of sucks. You know, I think it would have been maybe another like 6, 7, 8 inches right there that he would have had on this side. But nonetheless, I couldn't be more happy with him. Got him back like exactly a year after. So last year was my first year having him back. 2022. Just an absolute brute of a deer. I got this kind of pedestal mount is what they called it, where he's kind of coming off the wall and got a little bit more 3D-ness to him. But man, really excited about this deer. We've been hunting the same piece for the past 2 years, and nobody else has had a chance to harvest a mature buck off of it yet. But we're just hoping that that there'll be more to come. You know, we're going to be adventuring into different parts of Oklahoma, potentially other states this year, and I'm just happy as I could be with this buck. Wanted to tell the story. I wish I had some footage from the hunt. That's something we're working on, getting our GoPros and cameras and stuff out there and trying to maybe capture some footage. But anyway, I just wanted to tell that story about this guy. I thought it was pretty cool. This is actually the bow I killed him with. You know, a lot of times all of us get caught up with like talking about gear and wanting the latest and greatest. This was like a 2013 Elite, super smooth, super quick. The shootability of this thing's crazy. I did go ahead and upgrade, but man, I hunted this thing for years, killed multiple deer, pigs, all kinds of stuff with it. So just say that to say, like, don't get so hung up about your gear and your equipment. Just get out there and hunt and do the best you can. I had a cheap saddle, cheap sticks, cheap camo gear, like, but ultimately I got a big deer killed. And anyway, thanks for watching the video. Hopefully I'll have some more for y'all soon.